Welcome to the Weather Centre, everyone. Another warm day for most of South Africa, although cooler along the coastline where it's quite cloudy and there's still a possibility of rain for some areas. Otherwise, for the rest of this week, Gauteng sees very little change. Sunshine and warm weather continues all the way through to the start of the weekend. Cloud cover was persistent overnight along the southern coastline of the country due to an onshore flow over this area, and some of that cloud pushed quite far inland, even reaching the Graaf-Reinet area in the Eastern Cape. There was also some cloud that drifted into the Lowveld and the adjacent escarpment overnight, while on the opposite side of the country, fog drifted down from Namibia down towards the coastline of the Northern Cape. For the remainder of Monday, it remains mainly cloudy and cool over the far southern parts of the country. As I've mentioned, there is still a possibility of rain for some areas. Partly cloudy along the east coast as well as into the Lowveld, while the sunshine continues across the Highveld, especially for the Free State and the northwest. A look ahead to your Tuesday, and it's going to be a cloudier and cooler day along the west coast of the country. We're also going to see a possibility for rain around the peninsula as this low pressure system starts to move away from the country. This is going to result in an onshore flow developing in that area, and that's going to spread towards the Garden Route and eventually towards Port Elizabeth later on in the day. Clear, dry and warm for the northern half of South Africa. Rainfall probability map for today indicating rain along the coastal belt of the Eastern Cape from around Cape St. Francis and extending down towards the south coast of KZN as well. Evening rainfall returning to parts of the Overberg area in the Western Cape, while dry weather will dominate most of South Africa. Winds this afternoon will be light over the eastern parts, moderate winds expected for the western interior, and a fresh wind developing along the Eastern Cape coastline this afternoon. It remains cooler over the far southern parts because of the cloud cover in those areas below 20 degrees along the coastline, including around Cape Town. But further northwards, things warming up. Temperatures in the low 30s for some parts of the Northern Cape, while Johannesburg, Bethlehem as well as Pietermaritzburg reach a high of 25. Let's take a look at your Tuesday morning's temperatures, and it's going to be a mild start to the day for many areas in the double digits along the coastline of the country, as well as the adjacent interior, Pietermaritzburg at 12 degrees overnight. Lower single digits for the Free State and just below freezing for Sutherland. Let's take a look at Pretoria for today. 27 degrees as a high, sunshine, warm weather expected, and along with that, very light winds. And it's going to be very mild overnight, a minimum temperature of 11 degrees and very light winds expected once again. Moving ahead to Tuesday afternoon, sunshine in the north of South Africa, a bit of rain spreading in along the Western Cape coastline, partly cloudy along the eastern coastline of the country. And on Wednesday, rain will spread up towards Durban and Richards Bay, cooling things down in that area. And Johannesburg remains sunny and warm once again with a high of 26.